The new album by Sleaford Mods is called UK Grim. It's out now, let's take it for a run. And the watches on, the music's on, and we're off. Come on, let us go, 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 go. A shipping container is orbiting the earth. It's full of computers and they turn their necks to watch you as you leave your house and walk to the shop for a fridge milkshake. It's buzzing with a sinister intelligence which is just out of sight. Manipulation and control, all within that rising and falling buzzing synth. 1984 by George Orwell, written on the beard of a freshly boiled mussel. It's sinister and unnerving. A loose paving slab on your midnight run. Jason's poetry is complex, it's tight, it's playful. It gives you the impression of an office space overcrowded with politicians dressed up as cartoon villains. DIY has a kick drum that smells like an empty village hall. The way he says, "Excuse me mate, you dropped one of your tattoos," that is so funny. And then a bit immediately after, the doctor tells him to slap those B&M goths, that rubbish post-punk nonsense. It takes a sinister turn. This new synth comes in and it makes it a lot darker. Run into this song is a little bit like being chased by hungry hippos. Oh yes, Force 10 from Navarone. I love this song, and that synth, it sounds like helicopters caught up in electrical pylons. And the way Flora Shaw finishes her verse with, "That's my roadkill hat, don't touch it," it's absolutely perfect. Fucking hell. Oh. I'm good, I'm alright. Till Dipper rumbles into your head like JCB punk. Everything on this song sounds hydraulic. I can smell the oil and lubricant. Someone on Twitter just before I left the house asked if this is the best non-guitar punk song of all time, and damn right it fucking is. Running as fast as you can to Till Dipper should become an Olympic event. Oh my word, I feel amazing. On the Ground makes me think of the B-52s if they soundtrack the film Warriors. It's ring walk music with a bass line as cheerful and optimistic as Ulrika Johnson on Gladiators. Look at me, I'm cruising across the Travelator without breaking into a sweat. And when that guitar comes in, that is absolutely perfect. Right Wing Beast is built around this really colourful and bluesy bass line. For me, this Sleaford Mods album is bringing me so much joy and finding it really uplifting. Altogether, it really makes me feel like I'm running through a computer game, and something like the Right Wing Beast is a baddie I can easily beat by jumping on his head. Smash each other up is gentle, serene and moody and decorated with disaster. Oh my god, it's so slippery. It feels like a deliberate change in vibe as we go towards the second half of the album. Dawn is unlike any Sleaford Mods track I've heard before. There's a shift in the music and it settles across the song like a fog. It's the perfect setting for Jason's lyrics, and for me, he feels like a character from a Philip Marlowe novel. He's like an undercover detective on this song. In my opinion, this is the best the band have ever sounded. There's some references here to things being thin. On Smash Each Other Up it had warmth like a paper hat or something, and then on this song there's a talk of thin meat. There's something in that, I don't know, there's something in that. That line there about the falling dough, it makes me think that, well, it's reminding me of well-made pizzas, and it's almost like up until this point Sleaford Mods have been perfecting that pizza base, and now it's strong enough for them to load it with these heavy lyrics, this expansive music. It feels like this album has come at the perfect time in their career. They are strong and confident enough to make something like this now. Do you know what I mean? Like that talk earlier of things being thin, it's a warning. It's like, if you don't work on your foundations, you can't build on top of it. That's what I'm getting anyway. Other than that, I'm just having a really nice run listening to it. When so much of the world around us is thin and shit, this album is guaranteed to fill you up. By the time we get to So Trendy, I'm starting to think this album is a bit of a sci-fi album. It's almost as though the first half of it was UK itself. Now the second half is a fictional place with flying cars and flying buses, and it's called Grim. I know that might sound like a ridiculous take on this album, but there's a paranoia there which feels cartoonish. I don't know, there's something about it which feels like it could be a work of sci-fi. That bit on I, Claudius where he says, "Does he eat, Dad?" I just had shivers up my back. It is amazing. This is without doubt my favourite Sleaford Mods album. It's magical, and to go back to that idea that it could be a sci-fi novel, there's something about that element of wonder. It takes you back to your childhood and you bring these childish thoughts back with you and you ram them into your adult skull. It makes you see everything around you differently. For example, that image of seeing Santa Claus with a bag of chips is so striking. I love Jason's lyrics when he feels vulnerable and childlike, and there's so much of that on this album. Pit to pit races along on a railroad baseline, and Jason celebrates sobriety and tells us that he looks better than you. If I ever feel a need to drink alcohol again, I'm going to put this song on right away. Apart from You has a gothic guitar line, a distant clanging bell, a broken staircase piano, and a bass line like a sniper rifle. This is so good. It's beautiful and paranoid, just like this little island that we are on. I said earlier that I think Sleaford Mods always bring out the perfect album at the right time. I'm usually talking about lyrically the themes they deal with. This time, musically, it feels like the perfect album. It seems like the right time for them to experiment like this, and it's such a grower. The more you listen to it, the more you find in it, and the more kind of atmosphere you discover in the music, which just adds to the creation of Jason's character in these songs. It's amazing. It is so good. Tory Kong has a bongo the size of a football pitch in my left ear. There's a lot of bit crushing on this album so far, and I love it. And what it does on Tory Kong is this seamlessly transport you to this mythical island where Tory Kong is. You're ready for it. You're like, of course this is happening. I've been in a computer game all along. I can defeat Tory Kong. That thing I was saying earlier about there being references to thin stuff in this album, it's also there in a way that Jason can penetrate through pretenses, through people's lives, through the mask people wear. It all works to give you this sense of optimism that you too can see through all the bullshit. Oh my word, Rhythms of Class opens with this big 80s hip-hop beat, and Jason immediately mocks that by telling us to get on down. That difference in the level of protection the rich have over us is there on the last song. They've got the hedges or the mazes which are dense and the brackets which are thick. That is what this album's about. It's about the levels of protection that the rich have over the poor. But like I said, for me this album is full of hope, and it gives you the belief that you can break free from that thin protection you have around you, and you can go out chasing for more, because that thinness you've got around you is shared by your community, and if you all get together, something can be done. I feel like it's all down to changing your lifestyle, changing those coke nights for coke lights. If you do that, you can give yourself your own protection. You're not relying on the government to protect you. There's something there about penetrating through the control, the way satellites control the images you get on your phone, on your news. There's something there in this album about breaking through that, forming your own community and making the right choices for you. That's what I'm getting. It's an incredibly complex album. It's amazing to listen to, and it's perfect for running. Oh, I'm done. Just over 10 kilometers. I don't know if that made sense what I was saying at the end, but it's kind of like maybe we rely too much on the government to protect us and stuff. There's something in there about, there's a line about McDonald's smelling of links, and to me, I think obviously that's a sign of like eating rubbish food, wearing cheap aftershave or deodorant, right? But to me, that's a comforting thing as well. And there's something about, if we can make the right choices, we can find the right people in the community around us, and together that is strong. That is stronger than kind of any images being beamed onto our phones from satellites. There's a lot of social media on the album. I don't know, that was amazing. There's social media, health, looking after yourself, kind of like what you expect from Sleaford Mods, but on a much more expansive palette of sound. I love that. UK Grim, I hope that does really well in the charts because it deserves it. It's a fantastic album that makes you think. I'm a running punk, you should be running punk too. Love you, bye.